Hi guys, my name is Jenny. I am a former Christian nationalist and white supremacist. Doing videos like this is extremely hard for me. It's very uncomfortable. It shines a light on things that I wish didn't exist in my past.
Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us. You guys are the real Pe.Ple.
So lovely. So I came across this video on my For You and I thought to share with colored women. More specifically, actually crashing out, crying, and having an emotional breakdown to the fact that they are fully aware that they are the most people who actually contributed to whatsoever thing that is going on right now. So many of them are actually on a confession mode. They decided that okay, they're gonna turn a new change due to what is really going on right about now. Lovelies, I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. Alright lovelies, share this video, like, and let's dive into it.
This woman tagged the president and Fox News in this video with a plea for help.
My daughter's father has been in America for almost 10 years. He has done everything the right way, trying to come here from Venezuela with his mom. He graduated high school here. He goes to college. He's always worked. He pays taxes. He's never committed a crime. And yet, they are being denied citizenship here in America, and they are at risk of being deported.
And this is what people meant when they said that when you're voting that way, all immigrants were at risk. It doesn't matter if you were a model citizen, doesn't matter if you were a CEO of a company, if you were a police officer, if you contributed to society, it didn't matter. And the worst part about this is her daughter is 3 years old, assuming she's born in America, but now is at risk for deportation just because of the times of America. But to tag the president, he don't care.
A couple months ago, you made a post asking a couple of questions, and now as of a couple days ago, you just made an interesting video that I would like to show the class, answering your own question. So we're going to play the video that he made a couple months ago.
If somebody can tell me why Trump shouldn't be president, tell me.
And now we're going to play the video you made a couple of days ago.
When Trump said he was going to drop prices, I understood it to be groceries and everyday essentials. Because I'm seeing prices go up on groceries and essentials and everyday essentials for the everyday people. Where did I misunderstand?
When any candidate, regardless of affiliation, stands there and runs on lowering grocery prices on day one, you are being lied to. The economy, inflation, is a multifaceted thing, okay? It is determined by many factors, most of which are outside the president's control. But the man you voted for ran and campaigned on doing one of the only things that you can do to drive up inflation, and that is the tariffs. I don't know what you wanted. I don't know how you thought the prices, I don't know, but this is you fucking around. This is you finding out. This is all of us being like, you really thought he was going to lower grocery prices on day one and you voted for him based off of that and you couldn't sniff out that it was a lie? My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow or you won't see my face again. Thank you. Goodbye.
Hey, guess what, Brenda? It's not about politics. It's about actively supporting a racist, sexist, bigoted, billionaire, authoritarian, fascist regime. So guess what that means, Brenda? You voted against your friend. You voted against your friend's rights. You voted against your friend's health care. You voted against your friend's livelihood in America. You voted against your friend's family members. You voted against everything that they're actively stripping away from each and every American right now. So guess what? You were never friends because you were never a true friend. Yeah, for us, it's about finding out that people that we cared and loved for so long are morally empty, and the biggest pieces of shit right now in America. And if any other morally empty MAGA piece of shit comes across this, I hope it helps. Do better as a human, and you might not lose so many friends and family members. And the rest of y'all, have a good day now, okay?
Just a friendly reminder that in 15 years, everyone will claim that they were never a part of MAGA.
So this has already started to happen, and I've noticed this being a stand-up comic who goes on tour. So in January, my husband and I performed in a city that was definitely very Republican conservative heavy. We drove down and there were Trump MAGA signs everywhere. When we performed our sets, it was very clear that it was a very conservative audience. Both my husband, Dave, and I have like a lot of progressive jokes in our set, so like we're on stage like rewriting our entire set as quickly as we possibly can to ensure that like we would get out of there alive. So recently we were hired back to perform in that same city. And since we already did it, we're like, okay, we now know what we're getting into. Let's, get sets prepared that we know will work in those cities. And we drove in and we noticed that the Trump signs were gone. Not just a few, we couldn't find one. The main drive that we took into the city was literally littered with MAGA. They were gone. We were shocked. Now, I'm sure in other parts of the city, I'm sure people still had their signs up, but it was like night and day from like the last time we came down, which was in January. And the crowd looked the same. They were about the same age group. They were dressed the same. They looked the same in terms of like ethnicity. It looked like a bunch of old white boomers. But Dave went up before me and I could see him about halfway through his set going, I'm gonna try something. And he did one of his really super progressive jokes. When I tell you, I have never seen that joke crush as hard as it did, I was shocked. It was a literal applause break. I was literally holding my breath while he was doing that joke. Because I was like, oh my God, they're going to turn on him. They're going to start throwing things at him. Literal applause break. So yeah, no, I'm seeing in little baby ways, it's already happening. It's not like enough. But yeah, no, people are already trying to erase their actions. So start keeping track of those receipts now because they're already starting to erase what they've done.
I voted for Trump and I'm sorry. I am uneducated. I grew up in public school system. I believed anything a teacher and a principal told me, and I didn't question it, and I walked in a straight line, and I didn't use critical thinking skills, okay? I didn't read Project 2025. I have a disabled child. I'm a single mom of 3. I believed what he said in his campaigns, and I fucked up, and I'm sorry, okay?
You can make all of the self-deprecating humor you want to get white people back on your side, but I will never fucking forgive you or anyone that chose to triple down and vote for Trump a third time in 2024. The first time, okay, Trump is something new. You want a businessman. You want something different. But through those 4 years of him conducting himself as president and fucking up the pandemic, that should have been your fucking draw the line in the sand. But no, it wasn't. When this motherfucker started a fucking riot in the Capitol, that should have been your hard line in the sand. All of the nasty shit he said in 2024 should have been the draw on the line you said. But no, it's when it finally affects you that, I'm sorry, forgive me. I was led astray. I believed anything. I didn't read Project 2025. Shut the fuck up and I don't give a fuck.
Okay, among the MAGA women, there seems to be a little jealousy brewing. As you know, Kristi Noem, every single day, I think she wakes up and says, what am I going to be today? Am I going to be a federal marshal? Am I going to be an ICE agent? Am I going to be a local sheriff? Am I going to be a scuba diver? Am I going to be an astronaut? And that's like her big decision each day as she goes to her costume closet. Well, Nancy Mace clearly is getting incredibly jealous. And Ron Filipkowski on Twitter found this, and I thought this was just hilarious. Pop this up. So Nancy Mace, dressed up as an ICE officer, says, "Dear DHS, we've got a swamp and a dream. Let's talk. South Carolina's gators are ready, and they're not big on paperwork. If I was governor, we'd be bringing alligator Alcatraz to South Carolina." And then she posts a selfie in her car, all glammed out, and you can see like a bulletproof ICE vest on her. And I would just want to remind you guys, this is a sitting House of Representatives elected member of Congress. And this insanity is just breathtaking. If I saw this going on in like some banana republic, I'd be like, boy, they're really fucked up, aren't they? This is just a Tuesday in the United States of America, or a Wednesday in the United States of America.
I look at Nancy Mace and I think, you are talking about human beings. This whole alligator Alcatraz, they're talking about the death of human beings with big, huge smiles on their face. And she, Nancy Mace, I don't know if she took the day off from inspecting people's genitals at the Capitol, but she is a depraved individual. I cannot stand her.
I think she has, clear mental,
obviously,
clearly mental disorder. I don't think there's any question. I'm no psychiatrist, but just the way she speaks, the flight of ideas, this kind of stuff. I think what we're dealing with Trump and then the administration is it's a party of untreated people, really broken people that are now just dragging everybody down with them. All right, next up, Lisa Murkowski. She voted, it seems like she and Susan Collins made a blood deal. Like, okay, look, one of us is going to have to vote yes so that JD Vance can come in and have the deciding vote. And Lisa took that bullet so that Susan Collins and her blue state could provide cover for herself. And I want to remind you guys that every single one of the MAGA politicians, when you look at interviews of theirs and you look at their on the record statements about who they are as a person, they always mention their faith. And I want to remind our American listeners that, like in Europe and other democracies, it's off-putting when people mention their faith because they very much.
Hi guys, my name is Jenny. I am a former Christian nationalist and white supremacist. Doing videos like this is extremely hard for me. It's very uncomfortable. It shines a light on things that I wish didn't exist in my past, but I think it's important for people to know what's inside the mind of women like the person that I used to be. And this selfie right here, which I've never shared on my social medias until this week, really embodies everything about my mindset, and so I want to break it down for you. First, let me tell you how I became a white supremacist Christian nationalist. Very simply, I was born and raised. I was born into the Mormon Church, whose scriptures teach that black skin is a curse from God for the unrighteous. And from the time I was a very young girl, I was taught that the fact that I was white and of European ancestry, the quote from the Mormon scriptures is literally white and delightsome. That's in the Book of Mormon. I was taught that that was a sign that I was better than people who didn't look like me. So as I was learning to speak and to walk and learning the alphabet and how to read and write, I was also simultaneously being taught that the Lamanites, everyone brown-skinned on the American continent, was cursed from God and that I was superior to them. I was also simultaneously taught that America was a promised land that God had preserved for his most righteous and obedient children. And to me, that was members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Mormon scripture teaches that the Garden of Eden itself was on the American continent in Jackson County, Missouri, in a site called Adam-ondi-Ahman, and that Christopher Columbus was led across the ocean by the hand of God so that the righteous Europeans could repossess the American continent and restore the gospel of the Mormon Church in preparation for Jesus Christ returning to, guess where? Adam-ondi-Ahman, Jackson County, Missouri. I believed that the founding fathers were led by God and that the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the Bills of Rights were all written by the hand of God himself, just like the scriptures. There's a little children's song that I used to sing from the time I was 2 or 3 years old. Book of Mormon stories that my teachers tell to me are about the Lamanites in ancient history. Long ago their fathers came from far across the sea, given this land if they live righteously. And this song goes on to talk about how that those people who are given the land of America are always led here by God, and that us in our day too have been led here by God, and we will be preserved and protected as a nation and as a community of believers in Christ as long as we're righteous. And that, my friends, that is the very definition of Christian nationalism, the belief that God created America and that America will only continue to exist as long as we are a Christian nation with his mantle of protection over us. So now to this little selfie here, because this just embodies everything. First of all, I am wearing my doTERRA shirt, which like, that's just such a Mormon thing. The essential oils company. I was a trad wife, but I did have an essential oils business, and I just feel like it's so classic. Around my neck, you'll see a little cross necklace. Now, Mormons don't typically wear the cross, but during this time, we were living in South Carolina, and my Baptist neighbors were very judgy. They were always telling me that Mormons weren't Christians, so I wore this cross proudly, just so the Baptists would know that, yes, we are Christians. And here's the crazy part. Right next to that cross, I have a Dixie flag pen. The only way I can explain that is I was racist. I was blatantly racist. I was a white supremacist. And the fact that I was totally comfortable having that little Dixie flag pin right next to my little mini cross tells you everything about the MAGA mindset that I have. This selfie was taken on our homestead where my little 102-pound racist Christian nationalist self was raising 4 children in the gospel.
Hold on, what did you just say about Trump?
I said, Trump's a fucking liar. Inflation's going up. Gas prices hasn't really come down that much. Eggs? That's the funny one. The eggs. I'm mad. And I'm a mega man. Okay? I don't see anything he's done.
So is it safe to say that the illusion has faded?
I think it has, yes. You know, I was for him because, you know, everything he said, you know, he played right into my hands. He just told us everything we wanted to hear. That's what he did. I can't even stand to look at him because, you know, he's just he's a con. He's a flat ass, nothing but a fucking con. You know, they all the right side, they say, oh yeah, the Biden side was so bad. Well, what's so good about the right side? He brags about doing something with our economy, but I haven't seen anything happen yet. That big beautiful bill is going to add, they say $2.5 trillion. It's going to add about $4 trillion to the debt. The big beautiful bill. Oh, what a joke. Remember what happened in the 80s with trickle down economics? Yeah. The filthy rich got richer, and us guys that worked for a living paid more taxes. I'm disappointed for sure. I'm real
When I
disappointed.
seriously love this, I actually think that so many people are having emotional breakdown, mental breakdown, and regretting all of their actions of the past, which, quote unquote, it's actually a good thing. That's one good thing about realizing what you've done and acknowledging the fact that, oh, I've been so wrong for a couple of times, so I have done a new change. It is a very, very, progressive thing to do if genuinely you have done a good thing. And the thing is that I have noticed that so many Penguin people, most specifically, are just coming out to realize that, okay, things are no longer the way at which it used to be. Even if when they thought that things were going to just keep on working on their favor or just the same way it has always been. Like, I saw some couple of stitches, I think, when I was just going through my For You last night, and I stumbled across a sister, and she was like, in the other hand, that she actually liked what is going on right about now. Yeah, like she like what is going on right about now, even though so many people are being affected, and she like the fact that people are getting affected and getting to realize that, okay, exactly what people that looks like me have been trying to tell everyone, this everyone would have refused not to listen to people that looks like me are now witnessing and realizing that, oh, these people have been telling us the truth. 2 days ago, I stitched a video about a Latino man. He actually came out to cry about how oppressed that they are. He goes as far as to talk about this present administration has shown that the way at which people that looks like me have been treated for a very long time is so bad that they were all neglected. Now, him as a Latino person, he faces everyday oppression, even if he's the third generation immigrant who is actually a citizen. Even him being with all of his qualification of being a citizen, although he is still treated even worse off. That he has never ever in his entire life of living in the state been treated so horribly, discriminated, racist towards, just the way at which this present administration is treating him. And I was like, oh wow. So because right about now you are beginning to see what people that looks like me have been complaining, then everybody needs to start shaky. You know? These people do not want to believe, they don't realize when people that looks like me complain that these guys are really serious. But no, nobody want to take them serious. People actually use this Operation Olympic against them and just to keep them quiet. But now that every other person is beginning to feel it, even if it's not as equivalent as what people that looks like me have felt, at least they have been like they have tasted a little bit of what people that looks like me have been thirsting for the longest of time. When they say that people that looks like me are just being quiet, they're not reacting, they're reactive, or is it that whatsoever that is going on is not affecting them? For example, these farmers that is going on the bankrupt stage right now. So many people come out to talk about how why is it that black farmers are not complaining? Like these people literally have been suffering for years. They have been going through stuff like this for years. So they got used to it. They learn how to manage it, to maneuver it. That is why it's as if some farmers, especially black farmers, are not complaining. It's not as if they don't know what is going on. They knew, but it's something that that have been, going on with them for a longest time, and they have already hacked a way at which they manage their life and their resources and their finances and farming. you know Now these women sharing all of their history and how a changed person that they are right now tells you that it is only when it affects you that is when that is when you come out. But if other person is getting affected and trying to tell you that, oh my god, I need help, you have to do something, you wouldn't want to actually listen to these people. But right about now that is getting to you, oh my god, I'm a very changed person. Anyway, lovelies, please like this video. Why not just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. Do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So please share this video, subscribe, like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload
Not
the
just leave
next
me your
one.
own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. Please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts, subscribe, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.